Mr. Joe Flacco. And just like that, he is back, baby. Joe, I don't even know how old he is. He's got to be getting up there in age. Threw for 311 yards yesterday, 3 touchdowns in a win. And just, a couple weeks ago, I think, look, the Browns are like that stepchild who's been, abused and kicked and stepped on, and everybody just feels bad for them, so you kind of pull for them. So a couple weeks ago, it was like, man, I really hope they get in the playoffs.
And they're kind of like the Lions, right?
Right.
They've been through enough.
New York Jets, same type of deal, right? Like, these poor guys, like, they've been abused enough. We got to root for them. But I don't think any of us believe that if P.J. Walker or Dorian Thompson-Robinson was the quarterback, they had any chance to do anything.
No, they got a better chance of Flacco now.
They sure do.
He's been there, done that. He can manage a game with the defense. So.
That's what I was going to ask you. So, like, over the 2 games, he's thrown for 565 yards in 2 games and 5 touchdowns. They very well could have won the first game in his first start. He was coming in cold off the couch, right? Like, hadn't played in a year. They win yesterday over the Jaguars, who had Trevor Lawrence, and they were the number 1 seed a week ago. They finish with the Bears at home, at the Texans, versus the Jets, at the Bengals.
Bears, Texans, Jets,
Bengals. Very manageable schedule.
I think they'll go 2-2 during that time, but they'll squeak in the playoffs.
So that was going to be my question. They're currently minus 300 to make the playoffs with a win yesterday.
I think if they go 2-2, they should get in. I think with the way the standings are.
Can they win some playoff games?
Not some. They might be able to win 1.
Okay.
Now, if they had Nick Chubb, I'd say maybe they could win 2.
Yeah.
And they have.
That's a good point.
I mean, because I just think he's so damn good, and he's a workhorse. But I think that it's almost. I like what they're doing now, throwing the ball and kind of airing it out. I think when you see them in the playoffs, they're probably going to run it 35, 40 times, and then just hard play action fakes with Flacco.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's throwing the ball well. And listen, this is what he did in Baltimore, right? I mean, typically he just take care of the ball, rely on a good defense, but he will do that. I think they could. I think they're going to get in. I think they could potentially win 1 playoff game.
I'll be pulling for them.
I wouldn't be surprised in say for example, say the Dolphins don't get the bye and somehow have to play the Browns in the first round of the playoffs. I could see the Browns beating the Dolphins.
Ugly type of game.
I know. I guess some people probably think I'm crazy saying that.
No, I agree with you.
I mean, they have the better defense. They can run the ball a little bit better. I mean, I know that the Dolphins hit big plays here and their offensive stats are inflated, but in a playoff game,
play some ball control and shorten the game and get into a variance type of game. But
it could happen.
It can happen.
Sure.
It's to me, and tell me, I think Kevin Stefanski is the coach of the year this year. Obviously, D'Amico Ryans has done a great job with the Texans, but dude, they're on their 4th quarterback. They've been through 4 quarterbacks. They lost Nick Chubb for the year in game 2. They lost their number 1 offensive lineman in week 2 or week 1. Week 1. They've lost 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen this year. Amari Cooper's missed time. David Njoku's missed time. I mean, the defense has even had injuries.
When you mention all that, I would say, I mean, it's probably going to be tough. If the Texans somehow make the playoffs, it'll be tough not giving it to D'Amico Ryans
true.
just because they were so bad last year. But when you mention all those things, Stefanski's got to be towards the top of the list. That's for sure.
He's been.
I mean, it is funny how you bring Flacco in off the street and you just think, and it's weird, but you just kind of think that they can. Now you're thinking, oh, they can make the playoffs and maybe even potentially win a game, which is weird because it's like, certainly don't think Joe Flacco's elite, but there is something to say about a guy who's been there before and won games, So he won a Super Bowl, didn't he, Flacco?
He won a Super Bowl with the Ravens.
Yeah.
And then he got a big contract and didn't play well after that. But
hey,
it
happens to a lot of people.
How dumb are the Jets? He was in that organization last year. He knows the offense, and you have Aaron Rodgers go down. Why would you not go get that dude? Instead, you have Tim, or I don't even know, is it Tim Boyle?
Yeah, Tim Boyle. But they brought Boyle in just because he's friends with Rodgers, and they were never going to get rid of Wilson. The thing about the Jets, the reason Flacco works obviously better with Cleveland is, first of all, they can actually run the ball. The Jets have they just couldn't run the ball.